Welcome to another episode of The Velvet Hammer.
And here we go. Power, 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 power.
I want power.
Who has it? Who wants it?
Who gets it?
Who gets it?
Who needs it?
Who needs it? Power.
Who will never have it?
It's all about power. I really think power is an illusion. I don't think it's real. I don't think people actually have power. I think people have resources and they can make choices, but the idea that people are really powerful, I think it's something that's bestowed on them.
You are so wrong.
I know. Always. Always wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I think the illusion that an individual holds all the power at all times is incorrect, but power is a real thing like that. I mean, it's the ability to gather all of us little people together and use that as a influence tool.
But isn't it because we let people do that?
Do we?
I mean, you say let the little people, but like, it's
I mean,
sort of a
one would say that most of the little people are manipulated into doing what they're doing. So we don't really have choice in that matter.
I don't know if that's just manipulation.
Having just invaded Venezuela and plucked out their president,
Yeah.
we aren't going to go down that direction. This is a legal podcast in particular, and we're going to talk about from in the legal arena.
Isn't he being tried right now, though? I mean, technically it's a legal issue.
Well, I mean,
If you really believe. Okay, anyway, sorry to interrupt.
where I run up against power all the time, indisputable power, is in trial. In that microcosm of an environment, in a court where I know everything and I know what's best,
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter. The only thing matters is what the judge or the jury decides. That's power. And I have many stories about getting thrown on my butt because I had no power. So many years ago, in the 90s, I had tried a case. Judge was Linda Lau, who, she's still a Court of Appeals judge now, but she was my trial judge. And I was trying the case against David Wick. And they had both been in the prosecutor's office, I believe, together. It was a civil trial. And I had, in opening statement, told the jury that, because this was in the height of tort reform, where they hated lawyers. It's a car crash case. And so they had all these assumptions, like you file a lawsuit, you bring us all in and make us sit here. And I said, well, the defendant is the one that filed the jury demand. He moved for mistrial. He said it was a violation of due process. I said, this is not a criminal case. This is a civil case. She granted the mistrial. I was arguing with her because she was completely wrong as the jury was filing out. Like, it didn't matter. It didn't matter if I was right. All that mattered was who had the power. That's a lesson that you learn when you're in the trial arena. Who has the power? And now, you can fight against some of it. Like, the defendant is constantly going to try to assert their power over you. You see it especially in government cases where they get up there. There's one trial, just one attorney general. Every time she got up with a witness, she said, my name is Assistant Attorney General so-and-so. Every time, right? You don't need to announce yourself, but there was a reason, right? I'm here on the behalf of the state of Washington. I am the state of Washington. I am a good person. You pay tax money for me. Follow me, right? So, or the defense lawyers who can have scads of resources. They'll have piles and piles of defense lawyers. They'll have appellate lawyers in there bringing motions every day to set it up for appeal. They'll have all these way more expensive expert witnesses than you. They'll have the Prolumina, setting up the beautiful audio visual while you're running it, you're on your own, just dominate you that way. But that's a power structure that you can fight. Because even if you are smaller, even if you have less resources, you're in this level playing field of a courtroom where you have the opportunity to get in there and take the power that you need to win the case from that person, from your opponents. But you still have no power over the jury or the judge. Like, it's absolute. So, yes, if you look at the bigger construct of humanity, you can get really esoteric, like Mo was getting. But if you're looking at what we're doing in an arena that has very clear rules on who can do what and who has authority to do what, the only power that we have to bow to is the court and the jury to a certain extent. We do not ever have to bow to the opposing counsel, ever. That's my speech.
That's your speech. That's good. Okay. So I super agree with you that in the microcosm of a courtroom, the judge's decision and the jury's decision has an impact, as a consequence that you have no control over. Now, I don't go, in my mind, as far as like assigning the word power to that. And here's why. I think that in my mind, the larger construct we talked about, where I think power is an illusion, is I can't in my mind say that I have submitted something to you. I will not concede this in my mind. I will not let you take that power over me. And so in that moment, when I have had a jury do something that is completely adverse to my position, or a judge do that, I go, okay, this was your moment, but I'm going to come back and get my moment back for my client. I'm going to figure out a way. I'm going to go back to the blueprint. You'll never take my power away. Because I just think that like this concept of power is something that's used to...
He's a little delusional. I kind of want him to be able to just keep thinking this because it's kind of cute. But in reality, it's pretty delusional.
I mean, it helps me go along. I won't submit. Like in my mind, I won't submit.
You have to sometimes, especially with a court, because if you don't,
that's what I was
so
gonna say.
let's go to this way. A judge that hates me, right, in trial, of which we've already talked about,
Yeah.
Judge Rogers, who hated me in court. For me to be defiant to that judge, for me to be anything other than submit to their authority and accept it and move on, would be disastrous for my client. Now, it didn't help that I was like that, and I still got repeatedly whipped by that judge.
Yeah.
And you will by other judges. But our clients have to come first. Our egos don't get to come first.
It's not about ego. I would not, by any means, like defy the judge's decision.
Mo, how many of your criminal clients, what was the percentage of you winning trials when you're a public defender? Just answer the question.
It's like you lose 90% of the cases.
Okay. In those 90% of cases that you lose, how many of those got reversed?
Like a very, very small percentage,
Okay.
like less than 1%.
Case closed.
Nope, case wide open.
Case closed. This was your strategy of how to survive in a no-win situation, is to
How many of
come
those
up with
cases were ones that you actually had to come to where the judge made the decision? Or was it
Judge made
plea bargains most of the time?
I mean, most of them were plea bargains, but judges make decisions on sentencing, on motions, on a variety.
So you were still at the mercy of the judge.
You're still at the mercy of the court. But
Wait, did you just say that?
yeah, you're still at the mercy of the court, but he does not, or she does not have power over me, nor did they have a power over my clients. What this is my approach. Like, this is my philosophical approach to things. Is that the process is very revealing. The court process.
I'm gonna challenge you on all of this is BS, and here's why.
Okay, just BS.
Go
Go ahead.
And you know that this is that I have basis to do this.
I know you. Okay, let's go. Okay.
First of all, you have been very frank in telling us about all of the dynamics of power that you have succumbed to throughout your life, including coming to this country and being mocked for having English as a second language.
Yes.
And trying to assimilate.
Yes.
Okay, you try to assimilate because the power dynamics were completely whacked off and you were at the very bottom and you wanted to follow whatever needed to happen so that you wouldn't be picked on. You had no power. Power was from everyone else. Admit it.
At that stage in my life, I do admit it, but not now.
Well, but you are that same person.
No.
Yep, you are.
I'm an evolved person.
What you come up with is you've come up with a persona that you can put on to give yourself the satisfaction of believing that you haven't succumbed to power, even when you have. All of us have to succumb to power every single day. We just got our last bonus checks. We all had to succumb to the IRS. We succumb every single day.
It's a patriarchal society. It's built on that leveled system.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's the way it is.
All right.
That's the world.
I totally
Since
hear
religion
you.
was invented and created that system.
I totally hear you guys, but like,
It's okay.
It's to me, it's about mindset. Like the mindset being.
What's the difference between mindset and reality? Let's start with that. Let's go with the Let's start with.
But this isn't a psych exam.
No. But for anybody. Right?
I mean,
what's the difference between a mindset? Because first of all, I completely agree with your mindset. Just because you lose once doesn't mean you don't keep trying, right?
Yeah.
But you did lose.
I did lose, and I've lost. I guess I have lost, but I will not succumb to the situation by accepting the precept that your power over me has beat me. That just my mindset will not allow me to do that. Like it will just won't do it. It won't register. At some point in my development, and yes, I was getting my butt kicked all the time. I decided I will no longer succumb to this concept of power because when power is exercised over you over a long period of time, I just don't bring that to any situation. But I hear you. I hear you that like it, it doesn't experientially seem real.
Okay, when you're not being a ruthless person, when you're not being an aggressive, ruthless lawyer, and when you're maybe being somebody else.
Okay.
Do you acknowledge that there's power?
There is, but then the process is I won't succumb to it. Even if, like, personally, I'll sit.
I'm confused. What do you define as not succumbing to power? Like, do you pay property taxes? That's the government putting power over you. Do you obey laws, like speed laws, stuff like that? That's the government putting power over you.
Stop sign.
Okay. Yeah, but these are, like, relationships that are governed by, like, rules that we got to follow.
But that's still power over you.
It's just I've agreed.
And you agree
I've
to participate in the power process.
No, but I've consented to this process. I don't have to go live in this property. I don't have to go do these things, but I choose to do it. But they don't have power over me. It's about respecting the process, respecting the authority that is asked of me to do something. Maybe it's because of my past. Maybe
semantics.
Maybe it is semantics.
Yeah, but look at. I mean, I hate to bring politics into it again, but look at our president. He's breaking all of those rules. You can't tell me that he's not pushing power onto everyone else. And you are being affected by that, just like Karen and I.
Bump.
Oh, score.
I just don't like to buy into this term of power.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah. You want to create the illusion that you're resisting, but that's all it is.
Mike!
Mike! Killer!
Mike! Oh, man.
Okay, well, let's get it out of the courtroom and let's just put it into the office. Mo?
Yeah?
I have power over you, in case you haven't noticed.
Yeah, I wasn't even. This was the initial one I thought of, and then I went with the government angle.
Yeah.
Do I have power? Do I have power over you?
No, you don't.
I do too.
No,
I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Nobody.
It's illusion.
It's going back to nobody has power.
Nobody has power over me. People can do things to me. People can harm me. People can say things to me. I don't buy into this. And maybe it's because of my childhood. Maybe it's because of my past. Like at some point, I rewired the structure in my mind.
No, you didn't.
I did.
I'm going to challenge you on that.
Okay.
Because you loved that book, Unbound, A Woman's Guide to
Oh, yeah,
Power.
totally.
I did like the book.
I know you read it and you loved it. It was all about power dynamics.
It was.
Yes, but that doesn't mean because I like the book that I buy into this concept.
You did. In fact, we can pull it up.
Yeah, I was going to say we might have to go back to that episode and get the transcript.
Did I say?
Oh, we talked about it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I said people have power over me. I don't think I said that. We'll go back and
I'd have to go back to get the exact quotes, but I think that was the discussion.
All right, let's go back to the courtroom, please. Okay, all right.
Let's go to stay in the office now.
Wait.
We're going to stay in the office.
What?
Okay, because that's more relatable to a lot of people that don't go to the courtroom. Like the courtroom is obviously this environment governed by strict rules with everybody with an assigned role, and there's like inherent, as Mike would say, patriarchal, or I would say,
Yeah, the judge
power
is the
structure.
final
It's it.
voice on any decisions
And
being
if
made.
I'm going to disagree with the judge, which I have, or I want to go after the judge, which I have, I know that it's going to take another court to do it.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
I
Then
can't do
then it goes to another top judge. Then
Right.
it goes to another top
So
judge.
I'm going to be preparing my appellate record because
Yeah.
of that judge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to be doing. I'm not going to be going straight through that judge. That is not an option.
Mm-hmm.
So get out of the courtroom.
I'll get out of the
And now
courtroom.
we're going to go,
Where do you want to go?
well, let's just start with the workplace.
The workplace.
Employer, employee.
I respect-
Is there power or no? No power.
Well, there's absolute power. I mean, in this state, you have the choice to, at any time, tell me that I don't work here anymore without any decision
Thank
or
you.
without any excuse.
And in fact, that's what you want. I know you do, Mo, if someone is not meeting our standards, you want them gone.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think that.
Who's
that's
going to
true.
do that?
Well,
the person that has power. Are you going to fire someone in this office? You're going to go, oh, that person just did not do it right. I'm going to fire them.
Okay, but when people come and work at a firm or an
no,
office,
you're
they
not.
consent to the fact that they're an at-will employee, and if they don't meet certain standards, that they're going to be.
We don't have a
terminated.
choice in the state.
He's trying.
There is not a single choice that I could make on that.
Mo, I just
I
asked you a
am
very
controlled by the government on that choice. Absolutely. Unless
okay.
I move somewhere else. I do have that choice. You're
So you have
correct.
power.
Wait.
But that's not power. That's submitting to the power that's
Let's-
put onto you.
So Mike is being very insubordinate right now. Right? Mo, do you have the power to fire Mike?
No.
Thank you. Do I?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Case closed.
Okay. Am I denying that the concept of power exists? No.
Oh, yes, you did.
No, I said
No, he's just saying that he doesn't submit to
I
it,
won't
which once
submit to
again
it.
I call an illusion.
Have you read?
It is an
wait.
illusion.
Okay. Do you remember the book by Viktor Frankl? Survived in a concentration camp.
I don't remember the name.
He talked about how he survived in a concentration camp.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
it's a mindset thing.
So let me say, first of all,
I do want to get the.
let me just say, now that you've invoked Viktor Frankl, that we are not denigrating nor taking anything away from people that have lived through trauma and have developed coping mechanisms, because trauma, they were powerless within that trauma
Yeah.
and were abused. We are not. That is not this discussion.
I know. So,
But no, but you don't know, because the coping strategy that results from that, which is often, no one has power over my mind. They might have power over my body, but they don't have power over my mind. And other similar things, right? I mean, it's a mantra that you will tell yourself to survive the abuse or the unfair.
Yeah, but some of those
incarceration.
people have been broken during that process.
Well,
and I mean, they
yes.
have, then I would say that their mind has been taken.
But still, like it's a coping mechanism
yes,
thing, right?
I agree.
There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, that is something that's often necessary.
And I would say that's personal power.
Correct. And it's also a mindset.
Yes.
Okay. That's not what we're talking about.
Well, you're
But
asking.
that's what you're talking
But what
about.
I'm talking about for me is that it's Man's Search for Power is not Man's Search, it's, I forget the book's name, Man's Search for Meaning. The book he wrote that he survived the concentration camp is that he did not look for power. He looked for meaning in the things that was happening to him in his life. And so whenever like I am engaged in a situation, my mindset is what meaning I'm deriving from it. But that's a mindset that I developed a long time ago.
Okay.
But I mean, I acknowledge that, like, yeah, people can fire you. You got to pay your taxes and stuff. And so, but all of that also has a deeper meaning. All those relationships have a deeper meaning, separate and apart of how they govern your day-to-day life. Maybe you're much better at this than I am. When I walk into a courtroom, I don't compartmentalize these things, and it's all functioning from that space of my total experience and that mindset that I bring into it. So I know that's maybe not practical for most people, but that's just, since you asked, that's how I'm wired.
Just trying to think of a scenario that would work within the
Well, keep thinking
legal
about that,
framework.
because let me just say that the number one reason that people come to see us is because they don't have power.
Yeah.
They've been wronged and they have no power. And so they come to us to even the score.
Yeah.
So I feel that to not recognize power it will prevent you from being able to fulfill your goals in life.
Or the other way it says is that because power is illusory, you can have as much power as the other person, as long as you can get your mind into a space saying you will step into your power and own this situation. At the end of the day, reality is everybody dies, and in 50 years, no one's really going to remember us, really. Even 100 years, much less. And to me, I just get the sense that sometimes when we're in the present moment, and maybe this is a survivor's mindset, and you're feeling overwhelmed by things that are happening to you, so much of that is about you just submitting to the power structure. And as soon as you start to change your mindset and say, no, wait a minute, you don't really have any power over me. I am allowing you, I'm allowing you to make me feel that way. This is a choice I make in my mind. Once you start to tweak that mindset and exercise the brain, get enough reps, and condition yourself to not see it that way, you start to see things a little bit differently. So I chose a long time to go and say, power is an illusion. Everybody's going to die. And so no one really has power. And so, yeah, over this particular moment, you're doing something to me, and you're doing something to me in order to make me feel like I am powerless. But it's what I feel. I choose to feel that way. If I say, my God, the power of your exes, you're so powerful, that's my mindset. And so when I started to change that, I just started to realize, I start to see things differently, at least my perspective. I go, you have no power. I understand what you're doing right now, the practical realities of what's happening, but you really have no power. And it just gives me a better way to deal with things. It's just very idiosyncratic.
Well, no, I do believe it stems from trauma. It's a trauma response and a trauma rationale. But again, when you are in a firm like this, it is our duty to combat the power structures that are repressing our client. And so to not acknowledge that, I don't think it serves anybody any good. I think it's very important to know what you're up against. I think it's very important to understand what resources are going to come against you because that person has that power or authority. I think to be good in war, you have to know your enemy.
Yeah, I would agree. Do you think that insurance companies have power?
I think that insurance companies control so much over our day-to-day lives. Whether or not they have power over people, yes, they have power over money and how risk is assessed and
They have
whether or
power
not people
over
are able to
life.
get recovery.
You can't tell me that there's not life decisions that are made
Yes,
by insurance
yes,
companies
yeah.
on a daily,
Yes.
maybe hourly basis.
Yes, but I just don't view it in that sense. When I look at them, when I look at the insurance company, I go, one day you will cease to exist too. You company, you people, all of you will be gone. And coming into an interaction, from my sense, it gives me a different type of edge. Okay, it just gives me a different type of edge where I go, we're all the same. You are no different than me. I don't care how much you have or what you're doing, whatever you're saying, you're no different than me.
Well, that's
and so to
different.
me, it's
That's
like
different,
then the
no.
whole power structure thing that I see just dissipates. It just kind of dissipates for me.
I understand you. I mean, I don't want to say it in a harsh way, but that's your view on it. But I disagree in the fact that if a company can make decisions that affect life and death, then they have power over those people that are participating in that. So anyone that has insurance in the entire world, those companies have power over them. At least that's what I believe. And I think I believe what you said, that all people are equal, doesn't matter how much money or power you have. As people, we are equal.
Yeah.
But that does not mean that the power influence that those companies as a collective have over other people is not real power. It is real power.
I don't deny that,
To
Mike.
me.
I don't deny that. I just say that I don't buy into it when I walk into an interaction. Like, I don't buy into that nomenclature. I don't buy into that language. And so it makes me a different person. It just makes you a different friend, a different human, different lawyer. I think differently about the cases. I think differently about how to approach things. It just makes me different. But I mean, this is just like, you're right. I mean, probably is a survivor's mechanism that I developed at some point, and it's worked for me, and I enjoy it.
I think it's a semantical issue because it's
Yes.
it's delusional. So
Okay,
Here's,
so we've
here's what I like.
concluded
Here's what I
most
like.
delusional.
No, here's what I like. Here's what I like.
Yeah.
I like irreverence. I like going up against them, and who cares? I like the guts of it. I completely agree with that. We're in line in that regard, right? But that can coexist with understanding that, yeah, they have a lot of power. Yeah. And it's not just in the cycle of, I mean, look at where the power is. Look at Jeff Bezos' power. Look at Elon Musk's power. Look at they are dominating the satellite business, the robots that are coming,
And the rules that
AI.
used to apply are being thrown away like they never existed before.
Our whole power structure of society has been upended and will continue to be upended by what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay? You can't, and I think that what my issue is that the difference for someone like me that did not have significant trauma. I had trauma. A lot of, most of us had some kind of trauma, but like abusive, overwhelming power is that I'm not afraid of acknowledging it. And I'm not saying you're afraid of it, but I feel that you feel that by acknowledging it, it lessens you. Whereas I'm like, yes, be irreverent, fight the power, fight the power, all that stuff. But it exists. It's a reality. So what?
Well, and I would just say, I mean, I'll go back to the last fight that I was in. I walked out of a bar while I was drunk with a friend of mine, and I had gone to the bathroom before he went outside. When I came out, there were 6 people surrounding him and kicking him. I went in and fought. We both got our asses kicked.
Yeah.
I walked away with black eye, bloody nose.
Yeah.
I was in bad shape. Did I not go fight against that power? No. But I knew I was going to get my ass kicked. I did it because my friend was getting his ass kicked. Yeah. And I thought that I should try to help him, even though I knew I was probably going to get beat up.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that they didn't have power over us. They did. Yeah. And because I fought against power, that's what you want to keep doing. And I think that that's your view on it, is that you don't recognize it as power because you're always going to keep fighting. But I'm a realist, and I believe that they still have power over me, even though I'm willing to get my ass kicked.
And I'm delusional.
Well, those are Karen's words.
Yeah, you know, I mean, even if it is, I will even admit and agree that I have created a delusional construct in my mind, and it just,
And that's okay.
and that's fine. You know, I'll even take that. But you know, it just, you know, I think it's the reps. I think like when you get reps, you get reps. It's like shooting a basketball. If you go shoot 1,000 shots, 1,000 free throws, your percentage will just get better in how many free throws you make. And if you take the reps of start to see the relationships that society's created to create, in my mind, how it impacts me, power structure, which is real for a lot of people, I'm not denying it, and real for the world. If you start to rep in your mind a mindset that like, no, I don't buy into that, it changes how you approach, how you speak, and how you relate, and how they feel about you.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, when you're willing to fight against people who either perceive they have power or actually do have power, it can take away some of their power and make them afraid. And that's what you guys do a lot.
That's right. Well,
You said it, Mike. It's precisely the reason why.
But that doesn't mean that they still don't have power.
Yeah.
It just means we're always willing to fight.
Yeah. But it's
And if there's enough people willing to fight, then you can usually win.
but when somebody who thinks they have power over you realizes this person does not believe that at all in their soul, and they realize that, the realization when you see it in their eyes is empowering. It shifts energy back into your body in a way, in a situation. I've seen it, and I like it. It's satisfying in so many ways. And I'm delusional. I'm willing to admit
slightly delusional, but you know, you get the same satisfaction of them thinking they have power over you and you not caring and still doing what Mike did.
that. Yeah.
It's the same. It doesn't elevate you any differently because you either in your mind want them to know that you don't recognize them having power, or in action, you don't care if they have power. You're gonna go
Yeah,
at
that's,
them. It's the same result.
yeah.
It's exactly the same result. It doesn't. I don't believe that it changes fundamentally anything by having them having to make an assumption of why you're doing it.
Yeah,
But I
it's
mean,
all-
come on, it's still like in the example of insurance companies. In the long run, I mean, that's their business, is making sure that they win more than they lose, essentially.
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's a game,
a game.
in the end to them.
yeah.
You know, so they're just sort of slopping that power around wherever they can and figuring out, as long as they do it more than 50% of the time, they're in business.
Yeah. All right, that's a
Okay.
That's a good episode.
We are never going to come to agreement on this issue.
No, we're not.
That was a good debate. That's fine.
All right.
Okay, do we have
Well, that's all for today.
until next time?